Hi everyone, welcome or welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be playing a little bit of Stardew Valley, one of my most favourite games in the entire universe. Whilst I read out some opinions of mine and of yours about the knitting and crochet community, the other day I wrote a thread asking what gets on people's nerves the most in our knitting and crochet and just general craft community. I'm not just talking about knitting and crochet, I'm talking about sewists, other kinds of crafting, whatever crafting you do, yarn dyeing, whatever. It's not just exclusive to knitting and crochet. And it went kind of viral. Loads of people interacted with it, loads of people gave me their views on certain things. Some of them I liked, some of them I didn't like. But you know, I respect everyone's opinions, and part of the reason why I love our crafting community so much is because we're allowed to agree and disagree on things. So I'm going to play a little bit of Stardew whilst I read out some of your most interesting opinions on this. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe to my channel if you love PC gaming and knitting and crochet. The more you like my stuff and subscribe, the more people will see it, and I can make more and more of these videos for you. Right, the first one I'm going to look at today is this one. This is from me, the original one. Influencers who only interact with other influencers. Mean girl energy. Why are you ignoring your supporters with fewer followers than you? This is something that I feel really, really strongly about, mainly because this happened to me back in the day when I was first starting out with my Instagram page and trying to get into the whole community. I started out doing it properly, I would say around 2014, 2015, and really getting in touch with other creators and other makers and forging friendships. A lot of the first people I spoke to around that time are still really good friends of mine to this day, so it was a brilliant thing to do. However, and I think I'm not alone in saying this, there were certain makers and creators. Interestingly, I literally don't follow any of them now. Like zero, none of these people. Those were the people who never bothered to interact with me or other people who had, maybe like 300 followers or 1,000 at best, 1,000 at most. But these people would absolutely reply and interact and engage with other influencers. Like, you would click on these other people's profiles and you'd find out that they had like 40,000 followers, and it's like, mate, you can reply to those people but you can't reply to the little people. That's really off-putting. As I just said, I don't follow any of those people anymore because I kind of thought, I don't like that. I understand that people are busy. I can't always reply to my comments, although I do read them, and I always make sure I heart them if I can't actually type out a proper reply or response at that time, and I sometimes don't check my DMs. But I think it doesn't take much to engage with your followers, and the amount of followers that people have does not determine their worth as a creator or a human being. So I think generally people who do that are mean, and they need to check themselves, and they need to interact with people in a better way, because followers are not the be all and end all of everything. That's it. Right, this one kind of rubbed me up the wrong way a little bit. I'm going to explain why, because I find it very unspecific and quite judgmental. So, people who encourage yarn hoarding, I want to state my case here a little bit before I get into the rant. I think that overconsumption culture is gross and vile. You see so many videos of people buying huge quantities of yarn, like gigantic quantities of yarn that they're definitely never going to use, just for a stash photo or a reel. This is something that I do regularly. Most of my feed, actually, I was looking back at it the other day, is like pictures of like my yarn stash. But I think there's a huge difference between specifically buying yarn just to show it off that you're never going to use in 200 years probably, and accumulating quantities of yarn over years, which is my current situation. I'm not going to come at this from a defensive point of view, but I guess there is a little bit of defensiveness given that I do have a large yarn stash. But I went for many, many years without having the craft room situation that I have. I'm forever grateful for being fortunate enough to have a dedicated space where I can work my day job and be surrounded by my stash and my tools, my equipment and all of that, even though it isn't tidy in the slightest most of the time. I think the situation is this: people like looking at yarn, people like looking at nicely curated yarn stashes, yarn rooms, craft rooms, studios, whatever you want to call them. And I don't think by showing your nice yarn sort of situation is in any way encouraging people to do the same thing. I really don't get the logic behind that statement, but again, each to their own. If you are a yarn hoarder and you've got loads and loads of money and you just buy loads and loads, I'm going to be honest with you, I don't think those people exist. I think that exists in different areas on social media. I think the skincare and beauty and makeup area, there are a lot of influencers who overconsume, whether that's regarding the quantity of product they use on their skin, which is almost always way too much, or people who have those huge rooms, my god, with like proper shelves full of serums and moisturizers, and you think, good grief, like that's gonna go off like within like your lifetime. You're never going to get through all of those products. I'm talking specifically about the yarn community, if we can call it that. I don't think anyone does that, and I've been around for a long time. Do correct me if I'm wrong, comment, etc. Let me know, please, if you know of people who just buy yarn for clout and never use it. I don't think it's a thing that we need to worry about. I think we should enjoy people's yarn stashes, and if you don't, you're probably jealous. So next one up, people who bring politics into their business. I don't need emails from your business with coupon codes. Really? About how you're feeling due to the political times, or who was or wasn't elected. I can disagree with your politics, but can still be happy to purchase from you. This is really interesting, this one. I think that this person has a point, actually. I believe that you don't have to bring your political views necessarily into what you do. I do on occasion, because I care quite deeply about certain things happening right now, but I certainly don't make it part of my identity as a maker. If you do, I respect you hugely, and I think you're doing a great thing, whether that is the LGBTQI+ community, whether that's different issues to do with wars and conflicts around the world, or whatever that is. I respect you, and I think you deserve respect from everybody in our community. However, I don't think we by default have to state our views and opinions on literally everything. There's a lot of pressure on everybody on social media to become an activist, to literally sound off about every single thing under the sun. Some people get very aggressive if you don't. Some people get a very kind of aggressive tone with you if you do. For everyone who loves the fact that, for example, a few months ago I put Free Palestine online, there's going to be 20 people who follow you after that or more because they align with you. And then there's going to be 20 people or more who unfollow you or even start arguments with you because you are even daring to state a political opinion. So what I'm saying is, you really cannot please everybody in the world at all times, and you certainly cannot please everybody in the world at all times on social media. It's really, really hard to navigate that space. At the best of times, people are starting arguments with people now left, right and centre just for saying that their favourite type of chocolate is dark chocolate, literally that level right now. So imagine if you come out and say Free Palestine, or I disagree with the war in Ukraine, or whatever it is, you're going to get had for breakfast and eaten on toast for everything you say these days. I completely understand why people do not want to go down that road. I respect you as much as I respect people who go out of their way to be activists and to raise awareness of things. That's all I wanted to say. Next up, the yarn snobbery and sanctimony. Sanctimony, I don't know about what specifically. Something yarn related, definitely, but specifically no idea. So I'm just going to leave that one there. And I also wanted to say, you may have noticed that I've blanked out the names, usernames of people and business names, just because to save trouble, because I don't know who wants to be identified and who doesn't. I don't have time to check with everyone one by one. That's the reason why there's no identifying features here, so don't worry about it. Yarn snobbery in our community is rife. Yarn snobbery is when people look down on other individuals for the type or composition of yarn that they use. Normally, acrylic yarn users, I am one of them. People not understanding really that not everyone has 30 quid to spend on one hank of yarn, and also quite ignorantly not realizing that you can't use 100% natural posh fibers for everything. Tell that to a blanket designer who knows that that blanket will be needing to be washed many times, baby clothes, etc, etc. I don't think there is absolutely anything at all in the world wrong with using acrylic. It is a plastic. If it's a bad quality one, the tact can be pretty nasty, but to be honest with you, acrylic yarns have, and man-made fibres have improved dramatically over the last few years, so that's not really something to worry about anymore. I don't think people should be guilt-tripped about these things. If you are a knitter and a crocheter, you are on a low income, or even if you're not on a low income and you just prefer using acrylic for what you make, good for you. You're knitting and you're crocheting, you're crafting, you're in the flow, and you are having a great time doing it. So if anyone tries to make you feel bad about that, block them, block a Rooney. That's what the button's for, because you don't need that energy in your life. And to be quite honest with you, regarding the environmental factor, a item that is knitted or crocheted out of a plastic yarn like acrylic is not a single-use plastic. We need to do our bit with single-use plastics. We need to do our bit regarding that, not items that have been lovingly handmade and will be probably passed down for years and years and years and not thrown in landfill for a very long time, if ever. So let's choose our battles and let's not pick on people for the yarn that they choose to use, because you can say that natural fibres are great all the time, but I suggest you look into how wool is processed and the amount of water, for example, that cotton uses to make, and then you can get back to us on that. So yeah, down with the yarn snobs in general. Next on the menu is one of mine, number 2, changing the theme of your account drastically. It's not you, it's me. But if I followed you for your Yarny content, don't get cross with me if I unfollow because you've turned your account into a parenting one. Sorry, I'm not going like against parenting here. I am one, a parent. But I think that in general, the point is this: if you change your account quite a lot, that's your choice. But don't be surprised if people leave you. Don't be surprised if we get kind of like, oh, okay, well, this used to be a knitting account and now you're just putting pictures of your dog, which is great. We all want pictures of your dog, don't we? But I think if you change your account a little bit too much, especially without making it clear of like, you know, I'm having a rebrand or this is what's going to be happening going forward, most of us don't really kind of enjoy that, and it's kind of understandable. I mean, I guess unless you're friends with the person, that's a different issue, isn't it? You're going to support them no matter what. But yeah, random accounts that you follow, I don't really like that very much. That's just my personal view. This one is really funny. Those who engage in the humble brag, really unit an all over lace fingering weight adult size sweater in a week and are disappointed it took so long. Child, please, I get this. This is really annoying. If you're going to attempt a really complicated and annoying to make thing like a lace fingering weight adult size sweater, don't complain and act like you've cured I don't know, something. I'm trying to think of a clever example. You know what I'm trying to say? Like, you're going to approach something that's difficult, acknowledge that it's difficult, but complaining about it, like, nobody is going to show you any sort of sympathy or empathy for that. People are going to be like, well, okay, if it was so annoying, just like frog it, or just don't even attempt it in the first place. It's like kind of baffling to me. Anyway, I'm going to do the last one now because I'm running out of time. Being a freestyle crocheter, I get really irritated by people who are just rude and demanding when I don't share my pattern. There is literally no pattern. Yes, totally this. I don't know the meaning of not making things with the end result of making a pattern because I'm a designer and that's a problem I have. But yeah, entitlement and demandingness in our inboxes is real. Anyone who's demanding and demands stuff from you when you've stated very clearly that there is no pattern and gets rude with you about it, again, block party, blockaroony those people. I think the general rule of thumb should be if something annoys you online and you don't like it, remove it and remove the person who posted it. I'm really fussy now about the amount of time I spend interacting with idiots, and I say idiots with no shame because we live in a time where we are permanently interacting with people on social media, whether we like it or not, unfortunately. And the internet is saturated, social media is saturated by people who are impolite and trolls, and they have a very, very sad life. And the moment someone is horrible to you, don't give them a second chance. Don't argue back, because if you argue back, the algorithm will think that you want to do that, and they will make you argue with more people, and you'll just end up really stressed out. Don't do what I used to do. Go to those people, and if you're on Threads, which is where these messages came from, I don't know if I actually stated that before, but yeah, they came from Threads. You can look at people's reply history, which is such a good function, and guaranteed anyone who's horrible to you online or argues with you online about anything, look at their replies, and those people will have a history, a charge sheet, if you will, of arguments and hostility towards literally everybody. So don't be part of that. Remove them from your life and spend that energy engaging with great humans. There are many great humans, especially in the knitting and crochet and crafting community. We need a kind of abbreviation for that because I can't keep saying knitting and crafting and crochet community, that want to be your friend, and I'm one of them. So come over to Threads. My username is @emanitty. Say hello, and we will be friends, and we will engage in much needed positivity and craftiness together. And on that note, thank you so much for watching. I will be this summer doing a lot more knitting and crochet content. I'm not really sure what it's going to be. I'm not really sure if I'm going to go down the area and direction of tutorials because it's saturated out here. And whenever I do tutorials, people complain about my nails because I've got really long acrylic nails and like, oh, it's distracting, whatever. So I don't know if I'm going to do that, or maybe I will and just get on lots of entitled old people's nerves. Who knows what's going to happen, but there's more content coming for you. If you like this video, once again, please like it, please subscribe to my channel. I will love you forever if you do. Come and follow me on Instagram, come and follow me on Threads, and have a beautiful rest of the day. Thanks for watching. Bye.